KTM became the first manufacturer to introduce its 850cc engine in an early debut at Jerez earlier this month. Following that step, Honda is set to become the second manufacturer to conduct its first MotoGP 2027 test using Pirelli tires, scheduled to take place on Wednesday, December 17th. The Japanese manufacturer will send its test and development team to Malaysia for a 2-day test at the Sepang International Circuit, running on Wednesday and Thursday. This test marks the first time Honda will run its 850cc engine, which has been developed specifically for the MotoGP 2027 regulations. In this test, former LCR Honda rider Takahaki Nakagami will serve as the main test rider and will be directly in control of the latest development bike. As widely known, MotoGP will enter a new era in 2027 with sweeping technical regulation changes. These changes include reducing engine capacity to 850cc, limiting aerodynamic devices, and removing ride height devices. The new regulations will also coincide with the arrival of Pirelli as MotoGP's sole tire supplier, replacing Michelin. Despite Honda currently being fully focused on developing its 2026 bike with Aleix Espargaró as the key project leader, the factory has decided to launch a parallel program. This program involves the development of a new 850cc engine fitted to a base motorcycle, while also running Pirelli tires that will be officially used from 2027. Motorsport.com reports that the bike used in this test is essentially a 2026 spec machine, but modified by removing the ride height devices, using simplified aerodynamics, and fitting Pirelli tires. In the initial phase, Nakagami will play a key role in the development of the 2027 bike, while Aleix Espargaró remains focused on the 2026 project. The plan is for Aleix Espargaró to take over leadership of the 2027 program around mid-season 2026, once development has reached a more advanced stage. Pirelli has offered full support, including tires and technical staff, to manufacturers willing to begin testing early and collaborate on the development of MotoGP's next-generation tires. So far, only KTM and Honda have accepted the invitation, with other manufacturers expected to follow from February onward. As previously reported by Motorsport.com, MotoGP is also aiming to hold 2 dedicated test sessions using 2027 spec bikes with full-time riders, scheduled for June and September. In addition to the MotoGP test team, Honda's World Superbike factory squad is also scheduled to be present at Sepang. However, they are not permitted to use race bikes or field official riders due to the injuries suffered by their new test rider and 6-time World Superbike champion Jonathan Rea. It is almost certain that British rider Ryan Vickers will take part in the test program. Amid the turbulence shaking the world of motorsport, KTM has once again become the center of attention. This time, however, the spotlight also falls on CFMOTO. The Chinese manufacturer is reportedly ready to inject significant financial resources to secure the future of KTM's MGP2 project. This ambitious move highlights CFMOTO's seriousness in expanding its influence on the highest stage of motorcycle racing. For CFMOTO, MGP2 is not merely a racing series, but a strategic platform to strengthen its global image, accelerate technology transfer, and establish itself as a major player in the two-wheel industry. With KTM having recently gone through a difficult period and large-scale restructuring, the opportunity to enter as a strategic partner, or even through acquisition, appeared to be wide open. As MGP2 operating costs continue to rise and competition grows increasingly intense, KTM has indeed begun opening the door to external investors. However, from CFMOTO's perspective, the opportunity seems far greater than a passive investment. With strong financial backing and a proven record of technical collaboration with KTM in the production motorcycle segment, CFMOTO is believed to have the capacity to bring long-term stability and renewed ambition to KTM's MGP2 program. Nevertheless, KTM has taken a firm stance. Rather than accepting a major capital injection from CFMOTO, KTM has publicly stated that it is only willing to sell a minority stake of around 30% to financial partners without relinquishing operational control. KTM CEO Gottfried Neumeister has drawn a clear line. The MGP2 project must remain entirely under KTM's control. Rumors of a potential takeover by CFMOTO were quickly denied. For KTM, allowing CFMOTO to become a dominant owner is seen as a risk to brand identity and the independence of its racing program. This rejection sends a strong signal that KTM does not want its MGP2 project to fall under direct external influence, whether from Japan or China. From CFMOTO's point of view, this rejection is not without consequences. The rejection underscores that even though KTM needs financial support, pride and strategic control remain top priorities. KTM wants to recover and grow on its own terms, rather than handing over the steering wheel to investors who could alter the long-term direction of its racing ambitions. Still, KTM's search for investors is widely seen as a rational move. Financial pressure following the 2024-2025 crisis, rising MGP2 costs, especially ahead of the 850cc engine era in 2027, and the dominance of major manufacturers such as Ducati, Honda, and Yamaha have forced KTM to seek a stronger financial foundation. In this context, CFMOTO's interest reflects just how valuable KTM's MGP2 project is in the eyes of the global industry. Ultimately, KTM has chosen a more conservative yet firm path, stabilizing and securing the future of its MGP2 program without losing its identity. Meanwhile, CFMOTO, despite its financial strength and global ambition, must accept that the door to acquisition is closed, at least for now.
The Yamaha MotoGP factory team has officially announced that it will launch its 2026 project at a special event in Jakarta, Indonesia in mid-January, just ahead of the start of preseason testing. The Japanese manufacturer will enter a challenging new era in 2026 as it takes a major step by introducing a V4-powered bike for the first time in the modern MotoGP era. This ambitious project was announced last year, and during the Valencia Grand Prix weekend, Yamaha officially confirmed the end of its long-running inline-4 engine, which had been a core part of the brand's identity for many years. The 2026 season is seen as a critical period for Yamaha's MotoGP future. The performance of the new bike in preseason testing and the opening rounds will be a decisive factor in restoring competitiveness for 2021 world champion Fabio Quartararo and helping him finish the season inside the top 10 of the overall standings. The French rider will attend the Yamaha Indonesia Motor Manufacturing Dealer Meeting on January 21 in Jakarta, alongside his teammate Alex Rins, an event that will also serve as the first public unveiling of Yamaha's V4 MotoGP livery. Following the launch, Yamaha is expected to return straight to the track at the end of January for pre-season testing at Sepang, Malaysia. Notably, Yamaha will be the only manufacturer entering the 2026 season with a Category D concession status. This gives the team full freedom to test throughout the year without restrictions and allows continued engine development without a freeze. Meanwhile, Yamaha's satellite team, Pramac Racing, will be the first to kick off the 2026 launch season with an event in Italy on January 13th. One day later, VR46 Ducati will unveil its new livery at an event in Rome on January 14th. Aprilia will then continue the launch schedule with an event on January 15th in Milan, where Jorge Martin and Marco Bezzecchi will present the RSGP 2026 livery at the Sky Studios. Reigning champions Ducati will hold their official 2026 launch on January 19th in Madonna de Campiglio, Italy, featuring their two-star riders Marc Marquez and Pecco Bagnaia. So far, the only other team to confirm a launch date is Gresini Racing, which will hold its event on January 31 in Kuala Lumpur. To conclude the opening phase of the season, MotoGP will also host its official 2026 season launch in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia on February 6th and 7th, immediately following the first official test session.